So yeah, man. Speaking of, last episode we finished off with the episode with a lot of content creators and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that came up to my mind for this episode is I want to talk about what is his name? Arab.
We talked about this.
Anyway, Mr. Arab. Recently he got kidnapped.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are speculating whether it's real, whether it's fake, this, that, and the other.
You know the story behind that is? Do you know any details about it?
The only thing I know is that he got kidnapped in Hades.
Yeah.
And people are saying it's either fake, people are saying it's real.
Either way, unfortunately, even if it's for entertainment, he keeps putting himself in harm's pathway because he goes to the most dangerous.
Yeah, that's why I
world.
think it might not be fake because he actually puts himself in those situations.
And if you heard anything about Haiti recently, it's terrible over there. Gangs are
they're just
big. So the whole thing was about that. He got caught up in Haiti. Some people kidnapped him, held him for ransom basically.
Mm.
Put him in they put him in a confined cage type of place, but he wasn't treated poorly, but they had him hostage, I guess, to some extent, and they wanted $600,000, but
God damn.
a couple weeks ago he got actually released from it, and instead of paying the $600,000 ransom, they paid at least out of that $40,000, and they let him off. But like you said, is it real? Is it fake? Is it staged?
That's what one thing I'm trying to figure out because, but at the end of the day, I don't know, dude. I want to say probably not because the thing is he actually does put himself in situations.
Probably not fake.
Yeah, probably not fake. I'm not too sure. He already has
views, I guess. I don't know, publicity. I guess.
He already has the views and stuff, but you know what's crazy? He used to be in
a gamer, right?
Yeah, he used to be Fortnite, in Fortnite coach and all that stuff, which is pretty interesting. I want to know his mindset of why he decided to go from gaming to doing to meeting the most craziest people in one of the craziest spots.
I feel like it's almost along the same lines as why any there's a lot of rappers and gamers and YouTubers going to streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, trying to venture off into other things and stuff like that.
It's probably something like that to where it's he probably found more success, maybe.
Yeah.
Or enjoyment, I guess, maybe.
I mean, yeah, that could be true. But it's why... It's not just streaming or music or anything. It's literally meeting murderers, people who kill hundreds of people and all that stuff, cartel people...
He's putting
bosses,
in some crazy situations.
It's what's the mindset of, or most wanted people to, what's the mindset of going from video games to that? I think.
Go on.
You scared the fuck out of me. I thought I heard something like a pipe burst or so. That was you?
Yeah.
Oh. But whatchamacallit it? I think.
What?
Anyway, but I think, I don't know, I think he said something about I was just behind a screen the whole time, I gotta live life or something on the edge or something.
Well, yeah, if you're fucking living life that way and putting yourself in harm's way, what do you think, man?
Jesus Christ.
Shit. I feel like that's a lot of things, though. It's it's so hard to tell because stuff like that happens in the world a lot, but it's one of those situations where it's if it was fake, it'd be so convenient, it'd be convenient to
get the views
the
up.
Situation happened so conveniently, you know what I mean?
It's part of the main event.
Of
the
course.
news are gonna cover him and all that stuff.
Yeah, because it's he lives half of his life, or probably more than half of his life on the camera, so it's you can control what you want people to see.
That's true. That's very true.
People have done crazier stunts for less.
Which brings me to my next question. What do you think? What do you think it would take to make a good podcast? Because we're in the podcast, we're making videos. The first couple videos might not be we're improving a little by little.
What it takes to be a good podcast.
Well, what do you think it would take for us to make a good podcast?
I think one big thing is just like we talked about in the last podcast, just putting back into it, getting stuff that makes it more high quality. First off, I feel like not because at the end of the day, what is a podcast? You're sitting there and you're voicing your opinions and thoughts on different topics, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like intently based on shit like that, but it definitely people want to. I guess you want to get that feel good feeling, like when you see something professional, or when it's like Christmas time, they have all those like commercials and shit that make you want to go out and buy it, and you're like, oh, this is like the way they recorded this, and the videography, cinematography on it gives you that feeling where it's just like, it almost gives you incentive to go and buy shit.
Yeah, right.
That feel good, like, ooh, it's Christmas, ooh, shit like that. So I feel like if you can give that feeling on the podcast, just like the professional feeling of it, and just the quality of the sound or the setting, or just like how you carry the conversation, the flow of it. For
me, what I think makes a good podcast is to be able to extract the self from somebody. Like, last episode we talked about being yourself, but I feel like if it's as natural as possible, at least for me, when I watch a podcast and I see something that's like very natural, the conversations are flowing naturally, and everything's good and everything. I'm entertained. I'm watching that shit for hours, 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, because there can be fucking motherfuckers just jumbling about anything. Like us, we're just talking about a bunch of shit. I've seen a lot of podcasts where it's like you're saying I guess it's almost like you're not only just there for the information they're talking about, you're there for that person and their
that's true. Their personality,
energy. Exactly, their personality.
And that's true. That's kind of like vlogging. It's like, why are people watching people's daily lives? But it's like they actually enjoy it. That specific person, they enjoy what they do. They enjoy
hear somebody like, why would you want to watch somebody else play a video game that you could be playing?
Yeah.
Well, one, I might be broke. Shit, I might not be able to buy that game.
Not good enough.
Or these younger kids, especially. Exactly. Or it's just like that.
I mean,
it is kind of strange, but I guess it's in a form of entertainment. So.
Yeah, it is very interesting to look at everything from somebody else's perspective. It makes it super interesting and all that stuff.
Because people want shit like room tours or like house tours or a day in the lives and stuff, and it's like, to that person it might just be like, why do you want to see any of that? Like, how is that entertaining? But from somebody else, like you said, you're a fan. So
yeah,
you want to see the ins and outs of what the hell they're doing.
And the progression, too, of how they improve and all that stuff. That is interesting, too.
Because most of the time, when you get down to those levels, you're like, this is just another regular person, average person like me. This is a human being. They do shit that I would normally do sometimes. But then there's people like Drake that are probably like, yeah. Or like just people on his type of level where like normal things like him are just waking up and just like doing whatever the fuck you want, buying shit or whatever it is. It's like
they don't buy me a boat.
A normal life to the extent. But
yeah. Anyway, speaking of social media and stuff, like, you ever find yourself on the phone just scrolling
all the time,
and you get lost, but you find some shit that's funny. You find some shit that is.
It's so addicting that you'll just be sitting there scrolling, and then sometimes you ever just looked up and been like, I haven't given a shit about anything I just watched in the last 10 minutes. Right. I'm just at this point just.
Well, then you'll find some things there that are a very, very motivational, very golden nuggets and all that stuff. What do you think is bad about that? Like the whole entire I want to call it the TikTok format. Or what do you think is good about it?
Bad side is that's hard finding what's good about it, but bad side is I don't want to sound like I know it all or a scientist or some shit, but it's I feel like it does limit your attention span. It's like playing a game, and the reason you keep playing that game sometimes is the little incentives and the goals that you achieve. Like, oh, I get this reward, and you're not really getting rewarded unless you're getting paid for that type of stuff. So it's you're scrolling, and it's kind of like that. It's like, ooh, but the reward is being entertained, feeling that those endorphins go off in your head, like, oh, this is interesting, this is cool. But that's the bad part, because it's such a high frequency where it's like, and I feel like it's like it connects to what we were talking about on one of our first recent podcasts, like the second one I think, or the first one, where it's like, why are games boring? Why are movies boring? Because it's like they don't hold your attention span. Sometimes part of it is they're not good anymore as they used to be, but a big part of it too is just like that scrolling shit. You get so used to having everything in your face and at the palm of your hands now, whereas like back then, you used to have to wait a week. They still do it like that, but it's almost like having to wait a week to watch one of your favorite episodes, or just be like having a good movie come out or a good game come out every so often instead of such, like at such a high pace. So I feel like that's the bad part. It just keeps you and it distracts you. Like you want to, sometimes when you wake up, don't you just find yourself just scrolling there instead of getting up and starting to do your shit, or just like you have a task at hand, but you're just like, I can look at Instagram reels a couple more minutes.
Couple more minutes from now.
Yeah,
2 hours.
And you really do, and then you find yourself and you're like, bro, I've been doing this for an hour?
Yeah, right?
An hour. And then when you get, it sounds fucking stupid when I say this, when you really click in and realize I'm just looking at a wall basically. I'm looking at a wall. Imagine the TV wasn't there. This is you the whole time. Like, think about that.
No, that's true.
Think about that. It's like, wow, when older people are like, you're just sitting there looking at a screen. Yeah, I am. I really fucking am. And it's bad sometimes. So, but the good part is, like, it's kind of hard unless you're making income off it. That I can see that's the good part, but you can't, like, if it's from an educational standpoint, yeah, like you're learning stuff, you're receiving more information, or it's just whatever. But it's hard for me to sit there and find good things about it. I feel like. What are your thoughts?
I mean, here's the thing, right? I think that the app or the format itself was meant to be to stop wasting too much time on, like, you know, videos and shorten it up a bit. But I feel like it kind of
the opposite.
It kind of, you know, took too much time. But like I said, you said it perfectly. The bad part, it's like it just takes too much time. You know, you know, you just get lazy. You don't get as disciplined because you're just swiping through. But I will say that the good thing about it, at least for me, what I found was you find pieces of information that, you know, you don't really know, or you find pieces of information that you're like, oh, wow, this is interesting, and then you search up on it, or you'll get motivational things like, oh, you can do this, that, and the other, or sometimes you'll get that one reel where it's like, stop fucking scrolling, get off.
Or stop scrolling.
Get the fuck off.
Put some chapstick on them dry ass lips.
You know, but
shit.
But for me, the one thing though that takes me off. There's always that one thing that's like, you gotta stop. For me, it's when I see a cringy video of, like, just a creator who just does something cringy with that, like just that on the other episode, the YouTube energy, that fakeness, that fake prank. Yeah. I'm just like, all right, nope. I just realized that this shit's wasting my time.
Yeah, because it's so, you can tell it's just so scripted and fake, and it's like, but people, most of the time, I feel like it's kids that hold on to that type of stuff because they're like,
I wonder who are the viewers for this. Is it bots?
I feel like bots and
kids definitely.
Yeah, because I hate to say it, but my niece is like that, to where I'm watching some of the shit. I'm like, first off, hold on. We have a kid YouTube for this. Why is certain shit like this popping up? And I'm just like, what weird motherfucker is making this shit? But at the same time, though, my niece, I could put on Coco Melon in a different language. She'll watch it. These kids will watch it. They're back.
Yeah, it's like the movement, it's the colors.
Like the endorphins is just booming at the time. That dopamine is just like, whoa!
What the fuck is that?
What the pew,
watermelon.
And she's at the age now where she's like 3 and she's just like doing it herself.
God damn.
Yeah, so it's just like, it has to be kids for a lot of this shit, because who's falling for it?
That is true.
Even if these kids know, they're smart enough now to know shit that's fake, but they're just like, they still are tuned into it, tapped into it.
What's gonna happen next?
Yeah,
I don't know. I want to talk about something because earlier today we were on Discord with Damien and we're having the discussion that PlayStation 5 is better, PC is better because of this, that, and the other reason.
Here we go.
My question to you is...
Let's keep it professional here.
Do you think crossplay will fix the issue?
What's the issue?
I feel like the issue is... Like, there's certain games that I'm not able to play because they have to fix it, but you are able to play because it's a simple optimization for everyone, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, there's certain games... I want to play GTA 5, but I can't play with you guys because I'm on PC. It's not cross-platform. I can't play The Forest because that's not cross-platform. There's certain games that I know that will be... It's very consistent on the computer. It's very consistent on the PC or the PS4, 5. But I feel like if we had cross-platform, you know, I feel like it... I don't know. I think that should be a thing.
So you're asking me if I feel like cross-platform will fix these things?
Yes. Because think about it. If they have cross-platform, that means that they're supposed to put a massive update and keep it consistent. I think it'll be able to play with your friend.
Exactly. I think it'll help with like having more fun because not everybody likes the game on the same shit. Like you said, we were on Discord with Damien and you heard his thoughts. You already know how he feels. We're gonna have to have him on here sometime. But you already know how he feels about
doesn't work.
PC. Yeah. So it's like I think it'll help a lot because it'll bring a lot of games together. It'll help. It'll definitely help fucking the game developers because then you got it's not just pertaining to one platform, you know, like PlayStation exclusives and shit like that. But at the same time, it doesn't fix everything because look at games that are cross-platform like Helldivers again.
True.
You don't have it on Xbox, you know. It depends on what these game developers want to do and these first-party like sources really want to do with their games. So, but if we're just taking out that part, yeah, I feel like. How much can it help with though? You know what I mean? It depends on the game.
I'm just saying, man, they should fucking add it already. It's 2024. Just add cross-platform.
For sure, but then it would take away too much. It would take away money from these monopoly companies. You know what I mean? Like
what do you mean?
Like, then we don't have exclusives anymore. You know?
You could because look at it this way: Fortnite had exclusive skins for if you had PlayStation, you get an exclusive skin. If you had Xbox, you get an exclusive skin. If you had the phones, you get an exclusive skin. You know what I'm saying? For
sure, but when at a point then, it's like
not all games.
When does crossplay work into that? Do you want it to work into that type of stuff, or do you want to just keep it to the extent of okay, we could play games together, but like you said, we have our own like
I'm saying,
people are gonna bitch, piss, and moan about it no matter what. You know what I mean?
Like for example, it should be in like GTA 6.
Yeah.
It should be in. GTA 5.
Mm-hmm. But you get what I'm saying? Like what can it fix when it's like there's so many not only stipulations but
I will say this though, on PC there's a lot of hackers.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's
which is why they do prevent platform. So
it's like your personal criteria is a big thing, I guess, when it comes to something like that, because. People know there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want to fucking play with PC players because I've heard so many, that they're sweats and they have so many advantages. So it's just like I feel like almost.
I say they should add it for games primarily for like, for example, The Forest, where
I guess
it's not competitive. You're just having fun. GTA 5, it's not competitive. You're just having fun. Things of that nature. I feel like they should just already add it.
But then I fully agree, but at the same time, then it just turns into like a personal bias, really. It's what you prefer, your own preference. It's whoever's preference. Like somebody might not give a fuck about crossplay because of that, and then somebody I still want to play with my friends. You know what I mean? Or shit like that. It's almost the exclusive thing. It's like, how exclusive do you want shit to be if it's gonna be cross-platform?
Well, no, because think about it. you got Call of Duty where you can turn off cross.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally turn it off and just play with your.
Then you could just leave it like that. Add the option, but turn it off if you don't want to like.
But the
consoles or
for example, Spider-Man exclusive. No, keep that an exclusive. Sure,
it's too late.
or what you could do is release it at a platform first. Have a month on it and then release it somewhere else.
You know what's funny? Xbox Insomniac actually was going to Xbox and Microsoft first to see if they wanted to make it an Xbox exclusive.
The Spider-Man?
Yeah.
How would have that turned out?
I don't think
have to switch over.
Because let's be honest. Yeah, there's always the console wars and the PC master race comparisons, but it's like sometimes games just they don't do too well. Like on exclusive wise for Microsoft, I feel like. Because PC...
That's true.
I feel like PC is its own thing to where it's just like... No one gives a fuck. As long as they get it, they get it, Okay, because they can grab from... They have Steam. Then they can grab from PlayStation. Then they can grab from possibly Nintendo. Which I don't really see that much, really. Do you see Nintendo games on PC?
I mean, probably through the
programs and shit.
Yeah.
Probably because Nintendo has so much rights to its own games and shit. Like they have probably if not 100% a large portion of it. But then you have Xbox and then whatever else they have. Compared to where it's when you see, not to shit on Xbox because I am a PlayStationer. I'm a Sony fan, but how many exclusives do they have?
On Xbox?
Can you name 3 exclusives, exclusives
on Xbox? Halo, Gears of War, Sea of Thieves.
All right, so you named 3 right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Can you name 5 more?
Wait, put me in the spot.
Not even it's just name 5 EDG songs. I can't say that fast, but it's
Poopy
they
had
don't
3,000.
have too many, but at the same time, even if they do have a lot, I don't really hear about them.
True.
So, and it's not because...
I think, you're right. Sony does better with exclusives.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a thing to where it's the games, but...
Is it marketing? Do you think it's the users that they have that it's able to reach from America to all the way to Asia? Because remember, it's an Asian company.
They have such a vast variety of exclusives, Sony. It's not just one thing where it's this is... A lot of exclusives I feel on Microsoft are shooters.
True, yeah.
Third person, first person. Not that there's
that's true.
wrong
Halo
with that,
shooter,
but
Gears shooter, Sea of Thieves shooter.
Yeah,
it's small motherfucker.
But it's Sony. You have shit Infamous, Spider-Man.
True.
God of War. There's so many. It's a variety of shit.
Call of Duty's technically an exclusive because it used to be because they released they switched from Xbox to Sony and then they started releasing there.
So shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe it is just the marketing where it's
it has to be
it's
marketing.
A feel good feeling. It's nostalgia mixed with just the way because Sony does not handle everything well. If they don't, their showcases and shit like that, sometimes they're just dropping the ball on that. But
hey, there's a Sony camera, by the way, we're recording on.
See, and it's that is a good question. Why does Sony do so much better with certain things? Because you could say that for Nintendo, there's always gonna be a solid fan base. For Nintendo.
Yeah, I feel like Nintendo's that's it. They will buy everything. Even
if you don't hear about them, it's when do you see even a Nintendo game depreciating?
That is true. You'll see games from 19-something still being played and sought after. Where's this game at?
That and it's the prices never fucking go down. If they go down, it's by $5 or $10.
They go up. They go up.
They go literally, up. It's ridiculous. So you see Xbox and Sony games and even PC, a lot of shit is free on PC.
Yeah, or you can get it pirated.
So it's just bringing it all back to cross-platform and all that. It's just it's not only a preference, but it's look at how differently all these companies do shit. how they go about marketing, how they go about their exclusives, how they go about sharing it to other like.
But it's ironic
companies.
because Microsoft has the most money.
So it's like, what the fuck is going on?
You know, are they just Sony better marketer?
Because when you see, it's like the console. During sales, PlayStation sells more consoles than Xbox a lot of the time.
And that's funny because I think right now Microsoft, the company itself, I think it's number one right now. It's over Apple.
It's just
Apple's just going down.
I've never been the guy to like taking it away from crossplay and just making it about like the brand of stuff. I've never been. I joke about it, of course. I'm like, wow, you ex-boners and shit. But it's like I've never really had like a real hate towards like I wouldn't buy an Xbox because I was just I was playing my brother-in-law's Xbox and I was playing Halo and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool actually. This is.
Let me ask you this: with the advancement PlayStation or console itself, right? You're able to play at 120 hertz. By the way, he doesn't have a 120 hertz monitor. He's playing on 160 or 60 hertz. But no, seriously. The advancement that these consoles are making it so that you're able to play just as well as PC players, right? I'm thinking probably by the PS5 Pro, you're able to play like 160 at 165 hertz. You don't need to play more than that. That's like, if you play anything more than that, you're just playing competitive, like high. I'm talking S tier competitive. And even if you do play that competitive, you're gonna be probably on a stage or signed by a team, and they'll actually provide you with equipment. But if you're able to play 120 hertz, or maybe, you know, in the future, stuff like that, why not add the crossplay, you know? But then it does...
It's an advantage.
But then it also makes it hard because it's like we're having an issue where, like, aim assist, that's a whole other thing. Right now, PC players can't handle aim assist players.
Especially if... Because there is a difference. Like, I get there might be a lot of people who don't... You would tell them that and be like, huh, who cares about a fucking monitor? How is it going to make me play better? But there is guys. I hopped on his fucking PC, even with the Xbox controller. I don't even play on Xbox controllers.
It's huge.
And I was let me say this, I was hitting what I wanted to hit.
And that's only one, you were playing at 130, 140 hertz. That's only that. If you play 240, that's 100 more hertz. That's just a ridiculous ball game. That's just a ridiculous ball game right there.
But that being said, with that kind of stuff and having that much money, it leads to, like, it gives you the question that we asked earlier. It's like, when you have that much money, what is stopping you from making your brand more consumer-based and incentivized that people want to go and get that? Where does that demand come from? But leading into that, like, having that much money, like Microsoft, I'm sure that it's worth $1 billion fucking dollars or some shit.
Trillion.
Like that. $1 trillion.
It's more than the fuck is that? It's more than Apple.
What would you do with that kind of money? What would you do with $1 million?
Well, that's tough because when I think of Microsoft, it's not just games. It's like computers, it's softwares. They're getting into AI right now. A lot of people are getting into AI and all that stuff. So it's like if I would have had that money. But if I were like to mainly focus on games, I would probably focus on the system, like making it like so you can play 240 hertz on it, and it's consistent and it's perfect and it cools well. And I would also include, more marketing on it, more like you know. I don't think exclusive really makes or breaks a console.
Yeah.
What would you do with $1 million?
What would I do with $1 million? We had this talk before. I would
So while you do that math, I'm going to make sure I try to add some realism to it. So if you buy a house, I'm gonna ask where, and then I'm gonna just take the pricing of that.
Okay. For me, with $1 million, I would take a decent little chunk of it, enough where it would matter, right, and put it into research of like stocks and like shit like that to make multiple like forms of passive income first off, because then it's just like that's my first thing, because if you can have passive income, that is you're moving around the world. Yes, you're making money literally while you sleep. So that is one of my big priorities, because without all that money, what are you gonna do? That money could, even if it's $1 million, $1 million is only gonna last so long. I don't
and
care.
not only that, inflation.
Exactly. I don't
That
care if
shit-
you say you go. Oh,
$1 million back then is probably like 100 million now.
I'll make it work. I'll make it stretch. Yeah, we'll see how long that shit stretches. I would make it to where I'd have more than $1 million. I'd be a millionaire, hopefully a billionaire by the time over years if I play my cards right. But then I would buy a house somewhere where the.
So let's say that research cost you about, well, how much? 5,000, 10,000?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Like you're buying it on computer, or maybe you're buying a course or something like that. You're buying books, stuff like that.
Exactly. It's like it takes a decent amount, of course, but not enough to where they even put a dent into your $1 million. Especially if you're getting that liquidity back and all that passive
it's like
income.
1% of your whole entire $1 million.
Exactly. So my next step after that would try finding not only a place that my family would like, but a place where the market value for houses is decent, you know? Because we know it's hard for our generation to find a fucking house to buy. It's expensive as shit. It's just now starting to calm down a little bit. But I'd find a house in a good marketplace, in a good area where my family would like it, but big enough to where my whole family could live in there. I don't care.
So technically like a small like apartment building.
Either that or a big enough house to where my whole family. And it's not huge. There'll be like maybe, 5 people in there, 6 people in there?
6 bedroom?
Yeah, so...
Well, where though? That's the thing.
Maybe down south.
Down south? Let me look at Zillow.
Down south or somewhere where the weather is nice. But that's hard because if you go to a place like California, that's a pain in the ass to live there.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I wouldn't
buy
a house in New York City. That's just as expensive, if not more.
Virginia's pretty good.
So yeah, like somewhere's like that where it's just like the weather is pretty good. They have beaches. You could go out and do a lot of shit. But I pay that off completely. Because I don't need I'm not one of those people who needs a mansion. If I had a lot of money, I wouldn't need a mansion. I'd feel fucking what am I doing with all this space? But after that.
You said 6 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
We'll say 5.
What's the calculations looking like?
So in Virginia, there you can get a 5 bedroom, 5 bathrooms for $629,000.
So think about that. I'd buy one where it was like a guest house too. You know what I mean? So it's
634. Yeah, if you do get something like that, you have to look around. They have one for a 5 bedroom for $220,000.
Oh, so something along those lines.
You could always build a house.
That or
buy land.
Whether I definitely buy land. That's going to be where I'm going, but. Either build a house or buy a house and add on to it. So if I need to or want to flip that house for more, I have that option. That's another option as getting money back and just, let's say I buy smaller houses for each, whoever it is, right? But then buying land, whether it be, I would definitely buy land because you could do a lot with land. You
could fix it, leave it there, put something on it.
Whatever I do, make a business on it, make a ranch, a fucking
run around
farm.
butt ass.
Whatever the fuck I want to do. Maybe build a house and build a fucking whatever and start renting out, or make a golf course on it or some shit. But another thing I would do after that is I would get into I would try to squeeze my way into the door of
So let me do the math real quick. So. Let's say you bought the $230 house, $230,000 house.
That's not bad.
So you spent $250,000.
Okay.
So you have $750,000 left.
Right. So then I would buy either apartment building, or just separate apartments and put money into making them rebuilding them in at least livable, a nice livable space, whatever it is. Rent it out to people, another form of passive income. And then a lot of the rest of it, it's kind of hard to say. It's I guess I would just recycle the the blueprint. You know, it's like as much passive income as I could get, literally. But then a big portion of it, just keeping it there. You know, saving it.
Well,
What
saving is hard these days because it's like it just goes down in value.
Yeah, so it's
unless you save it in like in a stock or dividend where you get, like you said, passive income,
exactly.
and it's growing as well.
So there's only so much you could do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, of course, I'm somewhere in between being not even a splurger, but spending money and being cheap. Like, I'm not fucking cheap. I'm just like, you never know what could happen in life, so.
True.
I always like something in the back where it's like for a rainy day, or let's say your car breaks down, or an emergency for your health or with your family members. Yeah, emergency fund, and just like, of course, put a little portion of whatever into one of those. What are they called? AUPs. Fund. What are those accounts? Where you put it in the interest grows, and over a large amount of years. Let's say you have a kid, and then when
you could do it in savings, but savings can give you like a APY. Yeah, that'll give you like 5%, but they're never really good. It's better to put it on an ETF index fund,
something like that. I put it in some where I wouldn't make like a super large amount because I wouldn't want to have kids and then just live off that, and then let's say they spend all that shit and then they're fucked and then they're used to that lifestyle and they don't know what the fuck to do. I'd do it enough. I'd save enough to where they could do something with it. At that point, I feel like if I wouldn't lend you that money or give you the opportunity to have that money until you're old enough and smart enough to actually at least know what the fuck you want to do with it. So I'll give them an opportunity to make a even bigger future for themselves, because of course, at that point, if I'm, like I said, if my cards are played well, I'm looking at a lot of fucking money than I started off with. I'm looking at more than $1 million. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be
looking at an infinite supply.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you don't. But at the end of the day, it's like all I can do is pass it off. You know what you're born with nothing. You're gonna die with nothing. I'm not to make it dark. It's just like. That money ain't gonna stay with you, man. So don't just base it all off. My goal at the end of all this, it might sound greedy because I'm like, oh, passing money, but making sure that I'm able to live comfortably and my family is able to live comfortably. That's all it is about. You know what I mean? There's nothing more to it for me. It's just like, I'd rather have money than fame. You could be famous and be
broke. That's
so I'll just pass at the end of the day when all that's done. I'm on my deathbed. Hopefully, whoever's there alive after me is smart. to some extent, or aware to some extent to it, because it's like I'm gonna die and that money's not gonna go with me. You know.
Pretty much, yeah. If I had $1 million, this is what I'll do. First thing first, I'll buy Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, yeah. I saw a video about that. Look on.
Fucking hungry, man. I gotta think. I gotta feed the brain. After I'm done feeding the brain, what I'll do is I'll take half of that money.
Wait, you meant just Uber some food to you or buy Uber Eats? I'm thinking you buying Uber Eats.
Fuck that. No, I'm just buying some fucking food. Feeding my fucking noggin. After that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show the bank, hey, look, I got 999 million nine. You get what I'm saying?
This
guy. And so I'm like, listen, I want a loan so I can buy this apartment complex that's let's say $6 million. So I put a 6%. I put a 10%, which is $600,000 down on that $6 million apartment. With that apartment, let's say it has 100 doors. That's like I chart. Let's say it's in Jersey. Let's say it's like 1,500 times 100. Do the fucking math. That's like $150,000 a month. With that, I'm able to pay my mortgage or the loans, and then the rest is income. Then with that income, I just dump that shit straight into, dividends where I'm just getting passive income. Boom, boom, boom. Then with that money, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to make active income, whether it be like trading, whether it be like freaking creating a business or something like that. So that way that business can be passive. So essentially my goal is to divide and conquer. Make something active.
Franchise later on.
Yeah, do something active. then make it passive. Do something active, and then make it passive. Because I remember there was a saying where Rockefeller, he only worked an hour a week, where all he did was pick up the phone and says, "Can you report?" Just pretty much give me the data of what's going on with the business, give me the update, all that stuff. They give him the update and everything because he had people checking people, and he made so much money he barely worked. He did whatever the fuck he wanted. So essentially, that's the goal: is to buy real estate, make passive income, put it in more passive income, and then just keep compounding and just keep making a circle where that Uber Eats was worth it. The fucking goddamn steak was pretty good. Bro. But it brings me to my next question then. If you had one career, you can only pick one, to be the best at, what would it be?
Before I answer that, right, I just want to touch on one more thing about the $1 million thing. Would you agree with this to where it's like, I'm sure you would, like, this company like Mars Bars, you know what it is? Mars Bars, the chocolate candy bar. Mm-hmm. The company owns a shit ton of brands that you buy that you think are competitors, like Hershey.
Yeah, but they're all
and they're all owned. I'm trying to get to that level to where you don't even realize I'm owning all this shit.
Like the what's that brand called? The spray, the family brand. You know the spray where it's like the Lysol. There's a brand in it. The Lysol has. It's like, I forgot what it's called. Febreze, Lysol, they all have the same brand, where it's like a family brand. But it's like what you're saying.
It all leads back to that.
Like, they're not competing. They're actually
they're making money. Whoever owns that, the head of all that shit, is making moolah abdullah. But career, that's hard.
One career to excel on. You might not know what it is now, or like you might not know nothing about it. But what would it be? You have to keep in mind the hours you got to put in, all that stuff. You're like the number one, but you're making good money.
Music, because think about it this way, right? Let's say whether I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, fucking orchestrator. Let's say if I excel in that already, I'm already out there in that's already putting my foot in the door for multiple other things. Like if I start from any of that, I could choose to act, I could choose to make a business, I could choose to be fucking a comedian.
Yeah, but more specifically, like you could only stick within the confine,
right?
Count.
But if I do just music,
you know what the fuck
the confines of the
that shit.
If I just do music, think about it. I can get a movie placement. You know how big a movie placement is for somebody who makes music? That's literally just they have to pay you royalties. Shit like that, right? Just music overall, it's like I could spread. There's so many different genres and different outlets and sources of what music has to do with so many other things, you know? So it's like...
So music would be your thing, like the number one thing you would do.
For sure. Yeah. Because I love it already, but it's just like, if you can love it and get paid for it...
True.
And have these type of opportunities, because if you're that good and you're excelling that much, the only thing that's stopping you is yourself and executing what the fuck you want to do at that point, you know?
True.
But... Are we talking like I'm already blown up and excelled at that point?
Like you're number one.
Yeah, then for sure. Like if I'm already past that, yeah, it's like nothing is stopping me at that point for a lot of things. It's just making the right connects, making the right business plays, putting myself out there, you know, networking, shit like that. But mine would be music. What would yours be?
For me, it would be a trader.
A trader?
Because...
You filthy fucking trader.
No, here's why. Hear me out. Number one, nobody knows you. Number two, you can make money anywhere you go. You can go to fucking Russia, anywhere you want. You can go as long as you have internet connection and your login.
Yeah.
You could literally make money through that. So you're unknown. You can make money anywhere you want to go to.
That's smart.
And the amount of money you make is pretty much the amount of money how you want to make. Like If you decide to not focus up or study, then that's on you. So that's why I want to do that, because you're able to move. You're able to be unknown. People don't know you. That stuff. That's why I want to do that. That's why it's dope. Because if you think about it, if you do real estate, where it's like if you fuck up, let's say United States don't fuck with you, they could take your house.
Yeah.
Let's say you go to fucking Dubai, they don't fuck with you, they could take your house.
It's basically taxes.
Loans.
It's loans.
And with trading, it's like, I can go here. I can have 5 different passports. I mean, I know it sounds shady as fuck.
It's not though. It's really.
But it's
not.
like you literally don't have to live under. You don't have to listen to anybody's law.
Yeah, because let's say you have a bank account in somewhere where they don't tax you at all.
Yeah, no, I have a citizenship for this. Go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
You don't want to come to the country. All right, fuck it. Here.
All right, cool. Yeah, basically.
But that's why that would be my that's why I want to be hard on that. But that would be it.
I say back to me for music, it's like, then my word counts in that area. You know what I mean?
True, you have a lot of outreach. A lot of okay, this guy's saying.
Say I make a label, I'm like, check out my new artist, they're popping off. And I'm a top honcho, then I'm creating not only a job for somebody else, like a career for somebody else, but that's money in my pocket and their pocket, That means,
you could literally, if you were number one, you could literally change a whole entire hood.
Look at people like Playboy Cardi and shit like that. They say one thing, is like, boom, this person blows up. But I think your trading career is definitely smart, because it's like, then you could be really on some, what Andrew Tate would say, some boss level shit. You'd be
you can move around.
You could do whatever, to an extent, a lot of the things you want to do.
Say whatever you want, do whatever you want.
You can avoid a lot of shit. You could put yourself in a lot of shit, whatever you want to do.
But, it's, at the end of the day, the reason why I chose that is because the levels of freedom that is. You really don't, if you decide, I don't feel like following the United States law, I'm going to go over here this weekend. I don't want to,
Literally. That's a crazy fucking part.
And it's like, sure, you would have to learn different languages.
Not even really.
Or you could pay someone, but it's like, it's better.
Even then, they have so much technology now. You could put these headphones in where
you
translate it, and it's like,
go fuck yourself.
I'm sure you could pay for that shit. So it's just like, man.
But speaking of creation and everything, I'm starting to see anime. I'm starting to like it a lot more. I'm starting to see anime. I'm not really into the space, but I'm slowly getting into it. For you're a person who's been watching anime for a minute.
A long time.
My question to you is, if you had to create an anime from scratch, what would it be?
What would it be? I know there's some of the guidelines of it. I'd go with the cliche, the main character just as far as that, the cliche thing of I don't know what it is, but I like the underdog. I like the underdog in the story because I feel like I'm an underdog. And it'd be almost kind of like if you read or watched Berserk, the main character. Not the fucking story, because I love Berserk. Berserk is cool, but it's fucked up. So I would not have all the dark fucked up shit, but as far as the character, the main character, he'd be obviously he would talk, but more on the side to where he lets his actions speak. But as far as the story, I wouldn't care about I would want it to be a supernatural thing, to where it's fuck becoming the top guy, the Hokage level type stuff, or the Wizard King. It's we already know this guy's the shit. We already know he's a tough motherfucker. It's now what does he do about that? You always see a lot of shit to where it's the person in anime is trying to reach their goal, or they're building up to it. I want my shit. He's already on the top level.
He starts off. He's number one.
He can get better, of course, but he's already number one. He's already on top level, whether people know about him or not.
Kind of like
One Punch Man.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love One Punch Man because they don't know how.
It's like that, but it's he's more dark and brooding, but he's not a fucking piece of shit either. But something like that, and like I said, along the supernatural line, to where it's just it keeps your interest. It's not you're waiting for something to just fucking pop up like a transformation or some boss or something. It's just like, if it's my ideal world and making it, it's like, yeah, something along those lines where it has a little bit of like, it makes you think, like Death Note makes you think, but there's action in it too, I guess. But I don't want any like super. If there's gonna be like slice of life in it, it's gonna be like, damn. Now I see why this character is the way he is. Not like some happy shit all the fucking time, but it's hard because it's like making an anime or a manga.
Dude,
there's a lot of thought that goes into that. So, just a culmination of things. What about you?
So as a beginner of anime and all that stuff, I would probably create a manga or an anime. Hear me out.
Well, every anime is adapted from the manga, so it's gonna be you're gonna have a manga either way.
So so the anime that I would like to create is the protagonist is the most evil motherfucker ever.
God damn.
Every village he goes to, like, so
the type of guy my character would have to fuck up, huh?
something like that, but it follows the bad guy pretty much, where you're forced to see his wrongdoings and all that stuff.
Damn.
It's so pretty much it's like he's more of an oni, kind of like a Japanese demon or whatever, and he's just going through these villages, creating havoc, killing pretty much everybody, and just keep going and all that stuff. But then there's always like protagonists who are antagonists who are coming in who can fight, who almost stop him but always fail.
In this one, your character would be the protagonist, just on the evil side. So it'd be like literally like, I'll let you go.
But yeah, it's kind of like the opposite, where it's like, you know what I'm saying? And I'd create something like that, to where the only way to stop him is to like completely, work together and pretty much to stop him and stuff, which is impossible because no one's going to work together. They're hating each other and all that stuff. But that's the type of anime I would create, where it's like, why am I watching this? What the fuck? What the fuck, man?
Jesus.
It's so interesting, but
it's
fuck this guy.
Up. Yeah, it's like, I like this guy, but I hate him at the same time.
It's a great anime, but fuck you.
That's funny. That's hard, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You're right, because it's like, you got to think about the art, the storytelling, and all that stuff.
I feel like in mine, I definitely want like a lot of deep foreshadowing to when it does finally happen. You're like, oh shit, this is why this person said this or this person did this, and it's like, whoa.
But yeah, man. Speaking of making mangas and stuff, where would you want to go? Like, if there's places you want to go to, where would you want to go?
I could be multiple.
Yeah, like if you had, where would you, in your lifetime, where would you want to go? Where are your spots?
I want to go to Tokyo, Japan.
Okay.
Because it's like fucking Japanese New York City, but almost better in certain ways because it has a lot of shit.
In certain ways, most ways.
It has a lot.
Clean
it has
streets.
Asian
people have manners.
And, the people have manners. They have they have a Goku day. Let's be honest.
No, I see people running around.
Like, come on now.
The food clean.
Yes. I'd like to go to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And like possibly Africa, just to kind of get like a taste of what the other parts of my roots are, because I'm mixed. And
you East African fuck.
Never mind, let me not say that. But my biggest one would definitely be like Japan. I'd like to go to a bunch of fucking places, like the Caribbeans, cause just like, how could you beat that too? Like, just being in that fucking beautiful setting with the water and the beach,
shit.
and just with your family and friends, just having a good time. You can't beat that. But fucking Japan is amazing though, bro. It's like the epicenter of a lot of shit I like. Like, Sony was based in Japan. Anime and manga is based in Japan, like, or Tokyo, wherever they are from there. And just like shit like Godzilla
was in Japan.
Yeah.
little bit of history.
Just there's so much. It's cool as shit. Yeah, I'd love to go there. What about you?
Japan, obviously. Japan. I would love to go to. So here's the thing, right? If I were to go to these places, I would like to. Let's say hypothetically, in a dimensional world, I can't get killed. Let's hypothetically say I can't get killed, right?
Motherfuckers, Doctor Who.
I'd go to Japan, regular stuff, whatever. I'd go check out the wars and stuff that's happening in Russia and Ukraine, just to see what the hell's going on. I'd check out Alaska, where all the polar bears are, where it's how cold it is, polar bears fighting each other and shit. I'd check the South Pole, I'd check the fucking... I'd pretty much check the cool areas that you can't go to because of danger. If that makes any sense. Like, I know there's places in Mexico that are amazing, but you can't go because, like, that shit is a battleground right over there with the fucking cartels and everything. But, yeah, I'd go there. I'd go back to Dominican Republic, get myself some Tony Tones.
Tony Tones.
I'd fucking go to... I go to a lot of places in the United States, too, that I haven't checked out. Like I said, if I can't die, I go to Area 51, check that place out.
What the fuck?
What you got up in there, huh? Get some aliens? But yeah.
There's a lot of places.
Space, yeah, there's just...
I would not go to space.
You wouldn't go to space?
I wouldn't go to space.
Why wouldn't you go to space?
Because that's scary as fuck.
I would love to go to space.
Even if I couldn't die, I wouldn't go to space.
What do you mean?
Even if I couldn't die or get harmed, I wouldn't go to space.
Why?
It's like worse than the ocean.
I think the ocean's worse because we live with it.
You don't know what the fuck is in space.
I'd say I go to space.
A large extent.
Nah, I'd go to space, man. If I can't die, I'd go to space. I would go. Even if I could or can't, I would go to space. I don't care. That's like the... That's literally...
You don't find anything.
That's literally introverts heaven right there.
What if you don't find anything?
That's the point.
What if there's nothing?
I mean, it'll take
besides the other planets.
It'll take you millions of miles to get there, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, fuck that.
But yeah, man. I mean,
just an endless pit of fucking darkness.
Well, no. Let's say you're able to, let's say forget about the pit of darkness, right? Let's say the space. Let's say you're able to get to planet 1 to planet 2 quickly. You're telling me you wouldn't want to no man's land that shit, just go places and shit?
It's like that, yeah. But when you say space, it's like a large percentage of space is just endless nothingness. Like, you have the planets, but as far as we know, what else is beyond that? There's galaxies, so...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our next segment. Nothing.